the exotic one, Adrian Street, passed away, and it's funny. We were talking last week about Adrian Adonis a little because of
Right.
the documentary that aired. But coincidentally enough, there is I guess, a mini documentary. It's not a feature length item on WWE's Peacock channel about Adrian Street, and I watched it because it's not a name you'd heard in a while, so I always pop for the veterans that I watched, that I saw as a kid, and so I watched it and got to learn a little bit about him as a man, and then all of a sudden I see this and he's dead. 82. So I didn't realize he was that old.
Good run.
82. Yeah, good run.
He was
Uh,
salty, wasn't he? Wasn't he kind of a salty
yeah, a
cat?
little bit, and one of the guys that was would go a little snug, maybe from a time
Yeah.
where, well, he was one of those hard nosed guys. He was he was from the coal mining region, and his whole family was in that. And I think he worked in that a little bit before becoming a wrestler. But his gimmick, which would have been nothing like him, uh, the Welshman in him put aside the hard nosed coal miner persona and adopted the flamboyant bleach blonde makeup wearing effeminate, hinting at homosexuality, perhaps we can say, heel. Because there was a time, young fans, that just prancing around a ring and suggesting one was a homosexual, immediate heel heat. Nothing else needed, matter of
Well,
fact.
then later on in life, that would be a reason for manslaughter.
Right, with the gay panic defense, right.
Absolutely.
But
See how we took that full circle?
that's brilliant. That's what we do here. That's why I need you. Uh, but so I'm going through my head and I'm thinking of that prototype, right? You have Adonis later. He was doing the other thing first, the leather clad biker New York type thing, and then out of the blue, he's bleach blonde, pink trunks with bows in his. But of course, Gorgeous George, right? The original prototype for this. Um, Gold Dust, maybe a little bit, right?
Yes.
In a '90s fashion, the flamboyant, and you couldn't do it today, but could you make a baby face in that mold today? Are we there yet? Could Adonis have been cheered? Could
I mean, no, I think if anything, if when you say today, I go, it's just immediately is a reset to 1968.
meaning
Sensibility wise, I mean, I think we, as a country,
in pockets, but I
no,
think we do
God,
have a more.
no, I don't think in pockets
You
at
don't think we're
all.
more progressive
So
on a mean average?
are you gonna tell me that All in the Family could air this next Monday?
Um, well, it tackled racism and bigotry. It didn't celebrate it, so I think that sensibility could air. May have to play with the words a little bit, the
I'm
actual
just I mean,
dialogue a little bit.
so I'm saying though, you're taking a show that's, 40 years ago, and it doesn't, you couldn't get away with that.
So you do think we're still in a place where the flamboyant wrestler in the ring suggesting an alternative lifestyle couldn't be babyface.
I don't think it works as well as, like, to me, there's nothing that's more heat than, especially if you're like, if you're a big dude and you're gay and you can kick anybody, you can kick anybody's ass, and that to most straight wasps is a probably as terrifying as anything.
Mm,
Just
yeah, yeah. Because I could not find in my mind one instance where they were anything but heels. And well,
'Cause
what
I'm
about
afraid
Dust though? What
I'm
about
af
Gold Dust though? That
I'm
might
af
I might be wrong about that.
I think it was androgynous. I think it was too
It was
androgynous.
androgyny, wasn't it? Yeah, he was
Yeah.
not supposed to
It
be
was
anything.
very yeah, it was very David Bowie, Diamond Dogs, Ziggy Stardust, that kind of a feel. I just don't think in today's society that if somebody that, was deemed homosexual was to be getting beaten on, that the people would come to rally for them in the
Mm.
masses.
In a
I
story,
just
storyline wise, I mean, if that was the yeah.
I just think we've went too far.
I
We're
also
just
don't think you'd see those portrayals, though. Anyway, those over the top, stereotypical portrayals that were accepted with Adrian Street, Adrian Adonis, and
I mean, but
Gorgeous
if
George.
you look at if you look at music and you look at somebody like Adam Lambert, I
Hmm.
mean, you know, and you see him, I mean, eh, that's a very flamboyant, uh, you know, more so than George Michael or anybody was,
That's true.
you know, prior to that.
Does that speak to the difference in traditional entertainment fans and wrestling fans, though? Are we talking about a little bit of a
Yeah,
you
and
got
I
to
think
lower the
no, I mean, oh yeah, you're definitely. I mean, you're definitely lowering the sense. If nothing else, just the sensibility
Mhm.
of the fan base.
Yeah, look at that worker we talked about, that indie worker that worked as the progressive liberal. I
Right.
forget his real name, but
Uh,
all it took for him to heal out was to wear the Hillary shirt,
oh, he
be
was
called the
yeah,
progressive liberal, and wrestle in West Virginia
yeah,
to his brilliance.
yeah. No, I was
And yeah, so that kind of reinforces what we say. I guess you can do the
Steve just gave
stereotypes
us
and stuff
Daniel
again.
Richards
Daniel
was his
Richards,
name.
sorry, Daniel.
Yeah, he's
Um,
a fave of the show.
Yeah, friend of the show. Some feedback from last week's show, The Neon Paradox. Sean was dead on about the bed of nails. It's an old carny trick that relies on pretty simple physics. It's all about how your weight is distributed over the surface. So, like a body slam, if I was slamming you, I'd have to, you'd have to pretty much flat back it. I'd have to have you over. And it looked like it was done correctly with that
Like I
slam.
said, man, you put a bed of nails in there. You can tell me whatever the fuck you want to.
You're not taking.
I know what. No, like that's when I pulled the fucking. I'm too big to be slammed card.
So, rumor has it that it was allowed to be used, right? Obviously, it was out there, and it's part of
Yeah,
what was on there.
and it was a shoot. I mean, Ellis, you know, Ellis that was with us at WCW was he was the he made sure that nobody got, you know, that it was a safe situation, which he always, I
Mhm.
mean, he's great at that. I just think that it was supposed to be kept flat. I think when they put it in the corner and went into
The
business,
turnbuckle.
yeah, I think when they went in business for themselves, and I think that they were told to get the fucking nails out of there,
I think something came
brother.
across the referee's headset maybe at that
I would
moment.
imagine, yeah.
The whip in, and then the nails falling on. Yeah, that's so. Yeah, so that's as we suspected last week. That was kind of
Yeah.
the situation with that. Todd Snyder,
But
big.
just the
Mhm.
fact that, like, we did the show Wednesday about they weren't gonna do all these like, they were talking about and they're gonna probably not allow an Irish whip, and then, like, t 2 seconds later, there's a bag of tacks and a fucking bed of nails.
And an Irish
So,
whip into the corner into
and
the
2,
nails. Yeah.
the nails, which was forbidden.
Unless I still think if they pull back and all that stuff and it was just special occasion, made it special again when some crazy shit will happen, maybe at a pay-per-view, maybe an unexpected blade job on a random
Moxley's already fucking figured
collision.
out how much easier it is to get fucking color. You don't wanna have to like, "Fuck that, I'm not gonna fucking bust my ass and work harder."